Like most of the other Conservative candidates in the central Okanagan, Christina Lowen in Kelowna Centre has kept a very low profile. Since she did an interview with Kelowna Now back in March, she hasn't been doing media interviews, and she hasn't been going to public debates, leaving the other candidates to campaign against a ghost candidate.
Well, it's very strange that someone running for public office isn't showing up to answer the questions of the public for issues that really matter. I've never really seen this in my political career, so it's a very strange approach that the BC Conservatives are taking across the province.
And what about you?
Same, Kent. It's very difficult to understand how someone is invisible when really this is the time to be visible. And as I've told you before, if they're not showing up now, they're not going to show up after the election. So I agree with Loyal that it's a very strange process we're going through, specifically in Kelowna Centre.
And so you two have both gone to debates, and there you are. How do you cover the whole subject matter of the other opponent who's not in the room?
Well, these are really complex issues that we're faced with in our communities, whether it's healthcare or housing, and you have to be in the room to be able to debate it. And so it's next to impossible because the BC Conservatives just released their platform yesterday, and it's not fully costed, and they're not showing up to actually put forward what their solutions are. So it's next to impossible to counter any argument that they may have, whether we agree or not.
And debating, Kent, is not just about talking. It's not just about showing your views. Yes, it is about informing, but it's about listening and hearing and seeing what people want to know and what their issues are.
These are strange times. I mean, I've been covering elections, for, decades upon decades, and I've never seen anything quite like this. Yeah.
Neither have I. I mean, and democracy is threatened, I believe, when policies are determined centrally and ideologies are determined centrally, and people aren't there showing up to ultimately represent their riding.
When you hear that the Conservative candidate can't make a debate because they're busy knocking on doors, does that make sense to you?
I understand the strategy, but at the end of the day, it's disrespectful for the people and organizations that show up to put these events on so that the electorate can be educated in who to choose to help lead. Again, if you don't agree with a certain perspective of a candidate, that's totally fine. And that's the purpose of these forums and debates. But I see what's going on. They're hoping that you don't realize that this isn't a federal election and that this isn't the federal Conservative Party. And if they just stay quiet and don't ruffle any feathers, then they'll hopefully just get some votes at the polls. I see what's happening, but I find it incredibly disrespectful to the electorate.
You've both been knocking on doors?
I agree with Loyal. We've been knocking on doors and listening to people. And when Loyal says that it's incredibly disrespectful, Loyal and I are running for different policies and for different parties, right? So Loyal is running for the NDP, and I understand that he represents their policies and their values and their results, and I completely respect that. I'm running, obviously, not agreeing with the NDP results or policies, but I respect that. And I respect that the electorate needs to be informed. So Loyal and we're here on short notice. We come out to say, come on, Kelowna Centre. If you want to vote NDP, I completely respect that vote and vote for Loyal. That's what you need to do if you want to vote NDP. I would say when I've been at the doors, people say they don't necessarily want to vote the NDP. Well, then the option is, how are you going to defeat the NDP? And I would say historically, we say that this is a Conservative town. But I would say if the Conservatives don't show up, how can you vote for them?
I just wanted to know, when you're knocking on doors, do you get any sense that the general public has any concern about this odd feature of this campaign?
I for the most part, some don't even know that it's happening, for sure. But times are hard right now. And so people want solutions. They want local solutions. And what I'm finding is that people are playing into fear and cynicism, and just going door by door and playing to how people are feeling is really how I think the strategy is being rolled out. But at the end of the day, I believe that these policies really need to be debated in public.
Right. People are aware of the fact that there is this kind of ghost candidate running for the Conservatives.
I agree with Loyal that their strategy is to not be visible. And people at the doors are saying, hey, where is that person? Why are they not showing up? Why are they not coming out today to discuss it? Why are they not showing up to debates? And so people, I would really say Kelowna be brave and be bold and become informed. Get yourself informed, and this is part of getting yourself informed, and then make your specific choice.
Do you think that some people who might otherwise vote Conservative are so off-put by the lack of public activity on the part of their candidate that they might go in a different direction to an independent or to the NDP?
I think people are so used to voting for a party rather than a person, they start to just vote for a party. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations, that voters are informed of who their candidates are, because they need to live actually in Kelowna, because the Conservative candidate does not, and know our community and what we actually need. And so that's part of the conversation that I'm having at the door, is if you don't like the NDP, totally cool. Vote for someone that's going to represent your views, that's actually showing up in the community, that's been doing the work, not someone that's just been parachuted in from another municipality, that's not even showing up to community events, debates, or otherwise. So it's really incumbent on the voters to know who their candidates are.
I'd like to thank both of you. I just contacted you this morning.
Yes.
And there you are.
And thank you, Ken. And I would like to say, I echo what Loyal says. Get yourself informed. And if you want to vote NDP, I think Loyal is going to be a very visible candidate. And I would say vote for Loyal. But if you don't, think about candidates that are showing up, are having conversations, and are trying to inform you. So thanks for having us here today, Kent.
Thanks, guys. And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.
We don't just report the news. We live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. Kelowna Now, local, independent. News you can trust.